This is the 261st Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, according to the book by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin, who authored a book called Taiku. He put together a book that compiled all of these unanswered and unresolved questions in the Babylonian Talmud. And Taiku means let it stand until the Messiah comes, and Elijah the prophet, who will herald the coming of Messiah, will give the answer to all these unanswered questions. And he compiled, Rabbi Pessin put a book together. It came out around 2006 called Taiku, and each one in order. And I learned about this book early on in this cycle of Daf Yomi when Eli Stefanski mentioned it when we came to the first Taiku. That was back in January of 2020. And it was on Daf Ches of Brachos, Brachot 8a at the bottom, about 2 lines from the bottom, the first Taiku. And he mentioned that this must be the first Taiku in Rabbi Pessin's Taiku book. And immediately when I heard that, some 6 years ago, I just like a light bulb went on in my head, thinking, this is very interesting. Someone actually put together a book of all of these Taikus, and I just started thinking about it and just getting more and more interested in it. Like, what would inspire someone to do that? And I read his introduction, and in his introduction, he says that when the Messiah comes and we have the opportunity to ask all the questions, it'll be too late, so to speak. He's not going to tell us the questions. If we have the opportunity to ask him, then we can ask him the question. But he won't spoon feed it to us, so to speak. He won't give us the question. If we didn't know the question, we won't be able to ask him. He wrote something to that effect in his introduction, and I thought that's a good point. And so as of last year, June 19th of 2025, which was the 23rd day of Sivan, 5785, which is a specific date that is mentioned in the Megillas Esther, the book of Esther that we just read recently on Purim. And it's a very fascinating correlation to life events, this Taiku project, and Purim. Because in the Megillas Esther, if you remember, there was a decree to wipe out all the Jews. Haman's decree was that the whole world should basically wipe out the Jews, or all the provinces, or whatever. And so the edict was signed by the king, and once it's signed by the king, it's a done deal. It can't go back. But there could be another something issued from the king that can allow. Now, what this means is up for interpretation, but it allows the Jews to fight back. I mean, I think that could either mean signifying that they will win, either from a heavenly decree. It's like what's bound on earth is bound in heaven, so to speak. That because it was issued by the king, it's really signifying that the king, meaning the King of Kings, meaning God, had assured the victory for the Jews to win. That could be one. Another explanation that someone suggested is that Achashverosh actually gave support, military support or financial support or what have you. But those letters were sent out on the 23rd day of Sivan. And if you remember that day last year, see those in the Megillah, that's when these letters were sent out to say that the Jews can fight back. And essentially that they'll be victorious. And if you remember last year in June, that was right in the middle of the rising lion, Iran and Israel war. Yakum Lavi, Kilavi, or something like that. So this Taiku project started right in the middle. It was a 12-day war, and we heard sirens then, like we're hearing now, and that's when I started the very first Taiku. And it's interesting because now that we're coming around to Purim time, there was another operation with lion in it. It's called Roaring Lion, and it was together with Epic Fury, that's the American side of it. And it's interesting that it's like this Taiku project is almost like part of it. It's like we're coming towards the last. I can see the finish line in this Taiku project. It's only about a month left. Maybe a little more, maybe 45 days left. 46 days. And so there's 317 Taikus in the Babylonian Talmud, according to Rabbi Pessin, as he lists them in his book. So I just thought it was interesting that the timeline, because I had this idea for a long time. I had this idea years ago. Probably I started the first efforts of this project in a different way was back in 2023. I started to record all the Taikus and publish them on X and in writing form, and it didn't go. I mean, I went from I don't know how long, maybe a month, and then it stopped. It seems like this one was the intended time, because this one started and it stayed. It kept on going, and how it looks, God willing, it will be completed in after Passover, in the early Omer time of this year, in the first week of May, God willing. So here we are at the 261st Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. It appears in Tractate Chulin, page 32a. Boy Rav Huna Bered Rav Nasan Shaha B'miyot Simanim Mahu Taiku. Rav Huna, the son of Rav Natan, raises a dilemma. If one cut the majority of the simanim, these are the signs of the animal to be slaughtered for regular slaughtering or maybe ritual slaughtering as well, but we're talking now about just slaughtering for meat, for eating. Simanim that interrupted the slaughter, I think it's the same thing, yeah. Simanim, if one cut the majority of the simanim, meaning the places to cut, and then interrupted the slaughter before proceeding to cut the minority of the simanim. I'm not sure technically what this means, but if you cut, let's say, the main part of the trachea or something, and then he cut a small part of the esophagus, I'm just guessing, but it's just, the idea is that if you cut a big part and then a small part, what's the law? Is that a kosher slaughter? And the Gemara answers, it's unresolved. We don't know. And we would like to have some more explanation exactly technically what's going on, but we don't even have to know what it technically means. We only have to know that they're asking if someone slaughtered a large part of it and then a small part, what's the law? We don't know. Let's wait till the Messiah, the son of David and the son of Joseph, comes. Maranatha.